Attention, ladies and gentlemen. There are some exciting things about to happen with XRP soon that you all need to know about. Today, we're going to talk about all of that, but mostly about what's going on with the economy. Some words from David Schwartz, one of the founders of XRP. He is the CTO at Ripple and is the tech guy. He knows about the generation, the record, and how they may be able to take this to hundreds of people in a way that has never been seen before. We will also hear a few words from him these days. Before we talk about that, though, there may be a lot more going on with the economy that we need to look at because, to be honest, we're in very dangerous seas. More than anyone expected, XRP is going up much faster than anyone thought it would. This means that the top of this bull run has just gotten a lot higher. A lot of people want XRP to be worth $20, $30, or even $40 at the peak of this cycle, which could happen in just 5 or 6 months. But I'm here to tell you guys that the long-term goal is actually a lot bigger than that. We're going to be moving on to that very soon. First, though, I think we should talk about what's going on with the business this week, since there's a lot going on right now. We can see that the October housing market gets off on Tuesday with evolved information. NVIDIA looks at its profits. The Philly Fed factory report for Texas comes out on Thursday. The October home sales report comes out on Thursday. The SP Global US production PMI report comes out on Friday, and the Michigan consumer sentiment records come out on Saturday. The world of cryptocurrencies is going through a very important week right now. Right now, you might be wondering what the video has to do with making money. What does the SP or customer sentiment have to do with cryptocurrency? One thing you may have noticed is that the technology shares in the Bitcoin space are very closely linked for some very special reasons. We could say that one big reason is that NVIDIA runs all the Bitcoin miners in the world. Oh, that's a pretty big idea. I mean, a pretty big deal. It has the same kind of deal with the Michigan consumer sentiment facts. We know the sentiment numbers and the link to cryptocurrencies, which is pretty much right on time. The same thing with output in terms of the economy, right? I think we don't have any things and services because there is no production. So checking out how makers are doing and how much they may be making is a really great way to guess where we're going with things like GDP growth, money output, and all that good stuff. All of this is being looked at by the Federal Reserve as they decide whether to lower interest rates or not. Anyway, this has everything to do with it, and it's very important that we stay tuned for this week. I'm going to give you all of those numbers. I want to show you some weird stuff first, though, before we get to the crypto stuff. First, there is proof that people owe $17.9 trillion in debt. It is said that there are $12.6 trillion in debts. There is proof that people owe $1.6 trillion on car loans. There are about $1.6 trillion in student loans and another $1.2 trillion in credit card debt on the way. The US might have a lot of debt right now. Also, family debt has grown by more than 56% in the last 10 years. Also, credit card debt has grown by 53% since 2020. We can see that late fees for credit cards and car loans are now at the same level as they were during the 2008 financial crisis. I've been talking a bit about this because I do believe that by the end of 2025, the Fed will have no choice but to save the banks. Because of all these late payments and bills that haven't been paid, the banks are still losing a lot of money. They've given out a lot of money that they aren't getting back, and no one is taking on the bad loan. And I think those numbers will only keep going up as long as the economy stays bad. So that's why all of this information we're about to get is so important for figuring out what will happen next with the markets. In spite of all of this, there is still file debt from businesses, family debt, and car loans. Despite things like student loans, credit card debt, and other forms of debt, the SP 500 and the cryptocurrency market are still setting new records for higher prices. This means that people no longer trust the US economy right now. They only want to make us as much money as possible through investing. Also, if these purchases go bad, it will have a pretty big effect on the economy. However, here's the good news. There's a lot to look forward to, and we'll be talking about that because politicians are also beginning to change their minds about cryptocurrency. Additionally, this is very important because it's letting a lot of new people know that they should never worry about cryptocurrency. To be very sure of yourself to get into the markets. A lot of different types of people are worried about the fact that stores, businesses, and big groups are going to start buying cryptocurrencies. This bull run will change a lot because of it. It will let us look for cash that we have never seen coming into crypto. We're already breaking Bitcoin's all-time highs. Don't get me wrong. XRP is already changing in a much bigger way before the official start of the cycle that it did. However, that's great. There's more than that. It's also going to come right here. As we can see, RFK Jr. said that Bitcoin is a free currency and that it is a way for middle-class Americans to protect themselves from inflation. A way to protect against the dollar losing its status as the arena's reserve currency, and the plan to get the country out of its terrible debt. Let me say that again. Bitcoin is a way out of a terrible national debt. There are leaders, some of whom are very powerful, who can say this. There is no harm in this lesson at all. And this really shows that people are swimming in debt right now. It's awful. People are worried about what will happen to them, but Bitcoin gives them a choice. You might also be surprised to learn that Donald Trump has been talking about this. He's talking about putting more money into Bitcoin through the US government and basically building a new financial system on top of this. It's possible that the way this new economic tool is going to work will surprise and delight you. And David Schwartz is going to talk about that soon when he talks about XRP and RLUSD. We're all part of this. Now, just a quick note before we get to that, we want to draw your attention to how important cryptocurrency has been in some way during this election cycle. It's clear that the Bitcoin blockchain was used to keep an election in Scriven County, Georgia, stable and make sure that the votes couldn't be changed. We're using a blockchain generation to make sure that the polls are safe for you all. This is crazy. You could have told me this was going to happen 4 or 5 years ago, and I would have said, no way. It seems like this will take at least 20 to 30 years to happen, but it's already happening. I am going to say right now that the next US election will be completely safe thanks to blockchain generation. And it's our job on the XRP network to show that our ledger and generation could be the choicest database that the US government can use. If we do that, it will be super important for the security of the election. It will also be great for our network. No one needs to worry about this. Now, let's talk about XRP in particular, because we have a lot to cover here, guys. First, I have to tell you something very important. Man, XRP is really just getting started right now. It was better than anyone expected. Now that the last week is over, my view of XRP at some point in this bull cycle has changed totally. Great YouTuber, by the way. He really enjoys his videos and what he has to say about X said this, and he has exceptional factor. He says that XRP is only beginning. Here are 5 things that can make it go even further. Gensler's decision to step down. Okay, I'll do this by myself to XXRP. I believe the Ripple case will end once more. That's going to be really big. I think it was a 50% rise in one day. XRP ETFs are going to be very popular. This changed Bitcoin, as we saw. Think about what that will mean for XRP, the real USD release, big and in the right way, following all the crypto rules. It will really happen this year. I believe that these 5 factors will make it possible for XRP to easily go above $10 by 2025. I agree with that a great deal. So even now, even though XRP just had a huge rise and is now at $1.08 at the time we made this video, even if XRP doesn't happen, I still think it's a good deal.